Hi everyone, it's that special time in the month. We're going to do a quick reading for May. Please give us 3 questions first for May 2026. Not answers, questions. And I'm only going to accept Major Arcana, Aces and Court cards. Okay. No. 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 Okay, Strength. Magician. No. Okay, Page of Coins. Those are our 3 questions for May. And I'm going to understand them like this. 1. What are our strengths in May? 2. Well, we could go either way. We could say, what is our energy source? Or we could say, where do we have to make a beginning? The thing about these first 3 cards is it's not a matter of divination. It's a matter of just taste. We're just designing the spread. So I'm going to say, where do we have to make a beginning? And the Jack of Coins, which is the page, I'm going to say, what do we have to take seriously? Okay. And I've slightly got the devil in me. Let's use the Oculi Occultati, even though they badly need a shuffle, because I've been using them for my court cards videos. But I'm going to shuffle them and I'm going to make sure I really pick cards at random. They're fiendishly difficult to shuffle because they're so huge. I'm just going to pull cards from the deck, right? I'm going to cut. Let's cut for the first one. Oh. Queen of Swords. Let's cut for the second one. Seven of Swords. And cut for the third. Eight of Swords. Very swordsy. Looking forward to an airy month of May. Okay, well, there's some very interesting energies on the table today. It seems to be a reading that's recommending freedom and not calcifying. In other words, avoiding becoming too structured and too rigid as time progresses. And becoming structured and rigid is a basic natural human function. It is, in a sense, what our bodies and brains are designed to do. But it's an interplay, isn't it? You know, we can't have the freedom of children when we're 70 or 80, and at least not in the same way. But let me tell you why I've seen that on the table. Because look, where's our strength in the coming time, the coming month? We have a reversed Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is a kind of survivor, but she has survived in a certain rather harsh way. She has suffered and she's sort of retained her position and her power in life. But she's not very embodied, I don't think. I think she's slightly retreated into her head and into her intellectual power. She is the patron saint of intellectual power, the Queen of Swords. She is Pallas Athene. But this is a reverse Queen of Swords. So I think at the moment our strength lies in not becoming too heady, okay? And not becoming too, certainly not becoming embittered and not becoming dry. And so not being driven into any position of harshness through our previous difficulties, or if you want to use the word sufferings, or even bereavements, or whatever we've been through. So there's a strength in openness, and there's a strength in not drying up, and there's a strength in not losing contact with the body, which are all, you could say, natural functions of growing up and maturing and growing older. It's also possible to go through life keeping an eye on those natural tendencies. And it seems to me at the moment, as we go into summer, our strength lies in holding on to a certain sweetness and spontaneity and trust. In other words, pre-bereavement Queen of Swords, okay? Pre-suffering. Over on the other side of the table, I see Jack of Coins. What do we need to take seriously? And we've got the Eight of Swords. These are our restrictions, but more tellingly, our inhibitions. Our sense of shame about our desires and about our very selves. So take seriously the things that hem us in. I mean, the German word is Hemmung, Hemmungen, hemmings, you know, things that hem us in. The things that maybe trap us in our head and prevent us from moving and taking action and expressing desire, which are all, I'm getting some sort of theme of youth and maturing here, youth as opposed to maturing. And so our inhibitions hem us in and cut us off from the expression of desire and joy and movement. So those are the two bookends for the reading. And in the middle we have something quite different, even though it all looks a bit the same because it's all pink, isn't it? And it's all wonderful magical creatures drawn by this great tarot artist. But in the middle we have, where are we going to make a beginning? What are we going to make a start with? And it's a Seven of Swords. It's the stealth card. It's the strategy. And this is a kind of tricky card. And I think in the context of these two bookends, it might be a bit of a tricksy, trick-playing, naughty kind of card. I think we can take a delight in forming strategies to our advantage. And I think that can be quite light, you know, without taking it too seriously. I think we can make a start on our plan for the rest of the year, our fiendish, tricky plan for getting ahead a bit and stealing a few swords from the enemy. The cards are all swords, they're all in the mind, they're all intellectual, they're all airy. And we are actually in the month of Taurus at the moment, which is an earthy time, and it's a time of appreciation of beauty and appreciation of sensuality and of life itself, you know, good food, music, sensuality, a nice haircut, whatever it is. But these are the in a sense, the non-intellectual, the non-heady things in life. And I feel we're being warned not to be distracted by the head, and advised to check in with the body, to check in with the five senses. What do we feel? And the more aware you are of your body and your sensations and the reality of them, the less likely you are to get drawn down this or that rabbit hole by the mind. I'm Robert Farrer. This is Tea and Tarot. And I'll be back next week with more of this stuff.